Hey guys, in this video we're going to talk about culture shock. So we have a list of the symptoms, and it goes by social symptoms, and then physical symptoms, and then psychological or emotional symptoms. And we didn't really know that like culture shock was really a thing. We just thought it was whenever you kind of feel uncomfortable and don't like a new place.
Yeah, there's also different kinds. There's culture shock, culture stress. There's different kinds. So yeah.
So we're gonna read off this list of culture shock symptoms, so that if any of you guys are studying abroad and feel any of these things, that you know that it's normal to have culture shock. Yeah, at the very end of the video, we'll say some statistics of like what % of people get culture shock and stuff like that. Because I honestly thought that I was going crazy whenever I felt any of these. So here's the social symptoms, and we'll go one by one and see if we have any of those. So social symptoms: feeling lonely most of the time, even when around others.
Yes, I would say that one's a really big one. I feel alone all the time.
I don't really think that I have this, other than whenever everybody else is speaking in a different language that I don't understand. Then I feel very lonely. Over-identifying and idealizing your native country or culture. Yes.
Yeah, all the time.
Yeah, I find myself, I wouldn't say that I'm an overly patriotic person, especially in like American standards, but I would say that I am kind of patriotic. But here I feel like I'm annoyingly patriotic. I feel like I need to, especially with this new election, defend my country a lot. So I didn't know that was a part of culture shock. What about you?
I did not know that. I wouldn't say I idolize my country, but I do think that we have a lot of like, in America we do this, or while at home we did this, so we do talk about it a lot. But
yeah. Inability to accept anything in the new place. We're really trying.
That one's hard.
That one is hard. It's not necessarily that we can't accept it. It's just that we kind of like forget that
I would say that like
differently.
we accept it, but we still are like, but why is it like that sometimes? But a lot of things we're like, okay, we can adapt, we can get used to this. There's just certain things we're like, why would you do that?
Yeah.
So
I honestly just forget a lot.
Yeah.
Using stereotypes to judge others. I don't think I do that.
I don't think we really can do that for Finnish people, just because there's not that many stereotypes. We had no predetermined knowledge of what Finnish people sound like, except for being like quieter. But
yeah, I mean, and I would honestly say that one's a little true.
Yeah.
That like they keep to themselves, but
yeah,
I don't know. I just read that one. Social withdrawal, not feeling like doing anything.
It's my life.
I would say that one describes you a lot.
That describes me.
I feel like mine is the exact opposite, honestly. I want to fit in so badly here that, like, I don't know, like, I will go out every night just to sit at the school and talk to random Finnish people about.
But I think that's just
nothing.
Common, or like typical of us in America as well, though, that you do more stuff, and I would just be fine to not talk to anybody. So
yeah, I'm definitely more extroverted than Sarah is.
I'm very introverted.
The next one's homesickness. This one like kind of comes and goes for me.
Yeah. I feel it a lot around like if something is happening, or it's like somebody that I know, it's like their birthday or it's a holiday or like I would be spending time with my family, seeing pictures. So that one.
I got really homesick whenever people started posting like Snapchat stories of them coming back to college.
Yeah.
Because I missed that a lot, but I would still say mine just comes and goes randomly sometimes.
Yeah.
Becoming over-identified or obsessed with the new culture, forgetting who you are. I don't think that one's possible for us.
I don't have that one at all. Maybe like whenever you're in another culture for a long time.
Yeah.
Maybe, but I don't think I have that one.
Granted, at the very beginning of this list, it says like you can't experience all of these because a lot of them contradict each other. But yeah, I don't think I have that one. Inability to want to learn new things. I'd say that one's true for me in a sense. Like, I think half of the culture shock for me is changing my entire like lifestyle of learning, from science to art, and half the time I do not want to learn the art. Not because I have anything against art, but just because I'm upset about it. Do you have any of the learning things?
I don't think so.
Yeah. Inability to relate or to understand others, or feeling no one relates to you. I agree with that, but again, I think that one's more of like a science versus art thing.
Yeah. Like, I don't think they understand us just because they don't have the similar mindset to us.
Yeah, and even that, like, they talk about art things and like what's happening and stuff, but my most common jokes and stuff to my friends in America are science jokes. So like,
yeah, we don't like, we keep up with new scientific discoveries, but we definitely don't keep up with new artworks. So
or old artworks,
for that matter. But yeah.
Finding it impossible to fit in.
Yes, but there's a lot of things that are going into that. Like, we don't feel like we fit in just because like we don't have the same major. We don't have the same background. We're not from Europe. Even.
And it takes a while for the Finnish people to really accept you into their group of friends. So I feel like the longer we're here, the more we're fitting in. Mm-hmm. And I also feel like not fitting in is okay too. Because frankly, if you're a foreign exchange student, you don't fit in. That's what makes you special. So, yeah. So philosophical. That's not philosophical. I promise I'm not stupid. Generalizing that all problems happen in the new culture and none happen back home. Let's talk about this Finland. This one's not really... I don't think this one is necessarily what I feel. Do you feel like that?
That there's only problems here, not in America?
Yeah.
No.
I feel like there's a problem. This has nothing to do with culture shock. But most of the Finnish people that we have told that we are American to instantly names every problem in America. And I feel like that's part of the reason why I'm like, no, I need to defend my country, because of this new election, everybody kind of treats us badly because we're American and Americans voted in Donald Trump. So
I think that one's like people like that are seeing other people homesick, not necessarily us feeling that, but us seeing them judge it. Like, they think that, like, or not Finnish people think this in general, but they have been like, oh, well, this system is perfect in Finland, so you should bring it to America. Or this works really well in Europe, so you should bring it to America. Saying that there's, like, almost no problems in Finland, but there's a million problems in America. So
honestly, most of the reason why I'm sad about coming to Europe sometimes is because people seem to hate my country so much, but like there's a general idea that most Americans are proud to be Americans, and being here and not hearing something like, I don't know, we hear something bad about America every single day that we're here, so it's slightly upsetting.
It's very sad. We don't fit in because they don't like anything that we like.
Yeah. Inability to feel comfortable in day-to-day life and daily tasks. I feel extremely uncomfortable in the art school. That's a lie, actually. I really do really like the art school. We are very used to being in a very competitive, like, career path. And honestly, like, I do all that I can in America to get an A in a class and to learn as much as I possibly can. So it's very upsetting here to know that I am the worst in the entire school. Yeah. Like, Sarah at least has done this as a hobby, and I do not. So it is upsetting, so that I don't feel comfortable in. Do you...
I'm good with it.
Believing that by learning the new culture, you are betraying your own roots. Yes.
Really?
For me. Yes. Every time that I'm like, I think this is really cool. That patriotic side of me comes in, and I'm like, oh, I'm like, especially if I'm telling a Finnish person that, oh, I do like your guys' medical way or your guys' like social ways of doing things. I'm like, oh, but if an American heard me right now, would they be upset? Kind of thing. I'm much more patriotic than you are, though.
Yeah, I don't like. I don't know. I've never felt that like I'm betraying my own culture, but it's interesting.
Actually, a lot of things that we do differently, I kind of am just like, but America. I'm a very like loyal thing to almost everything, though.
That's true.
Yeah, I have a loyalty problem. I over loyalty. That didn't make sense either. Feeling disoriented or lost when traveling around.
Oh
my god.
We've gotten better. Like, in the town specifically, we're fine, like, walking around and everything. But, like, obviously, being in a new city, you're gonna feel just, like, even if it was in the same country or state, like, if you don't know where you are, you're gonna feel lost. So, like,
I didn't know that one was a part of culture shock. I just thought that was a part of being human.
I feel lost all the time.
We're actually in Berlin, Germany right now, and today we kind of just like followed the German girl that we are with right now everywhere, and we didn't even ask where we were going. I would have never been able to find anything. Nope. Missing family and friends to the point you don't live life. I would say missing family and friends for me, but not to the point that I don't live life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think some days just are better than others with that.
Yeah. Honestly, I've found that Finland helps me sometimes not, like, get rid of my life because I miss everybody. Like, a few days ago was the anniversary of my uncle dying, and if I wasn't here, then I would have been way more upset about it. So I feel like that helps somewhat. Not wanting to understand / follow new behaviors, rules, etiquettes in the new culture. All of that was in all one word. In the new culture.
Not wanting to? I wouldn't say we just flat out don't want to do anything. Like, some days I'm like, hey, we haven't done anything that I'm used to in a while, so I don't want to do the new things. But I wouldn't say this in general, we don't want to do anything.
I wouldn't say that either, actually. I want to understand why they do things.
Yeah.
I really do. I don't miss doing things that I normally do. I just miss the feeling of familiar things. I really can't speak English. Prone to taking drugs and drink excessively. Have you taken any drugs?
I don't take drugs like that.
I don't take drugs
But to fit in at the art school, they drink almost at least 3 times a week.
Yeah.
So
we don't know if that's all of Finland, but like what we have seen from the people we like, like our age people, they drink a lot, but they don't drink like very high alcohol content, so it's not quite different than America.
I don't think it's making me drink or take drugs. So
I have definitely not taken drugs, nor drink excessively. So.
Do you want me to say that?
Sure.
Okay, so the physical symptoms are sleeping too much.
Actually, read those two together.
Not able to sleep enough. So either you're sleeping too much or not enough. I feel like mine come and go. Like, I have both of them, but not at obviously not at the same time. Like, I feel like I sleep all the time, but then at the same time, I can lay in bed for like 4 hours and never fall asleep. Like, lately we've been going to sleep at like 5 a.m. because we just literally lay there and can't go to sleep. And then some nights or days, I'm like, I don't want to get out of bed, and it's like 3 in the afternoon. So, like,
I don't know. Yeah. I feel like I am always tired. And even whenever, like, I lay down to go to sleep, I will still be tired. But then I can't go to sleep ever. I just actually had to buy medicine to make myself go to sleep because it got that bad. There was one night that I was up until, like, 7 a.m., and then...
Yeah, there's been sometimes I really don't even go to sleep until, like, it's actually time to wake up. And then, like, we don't go to school because... we're asleep.
Yeah, honestly, at first I thought it was jet lag, and then I blamed the fact that like the sun wasn't up all the time.
Yeah.
But I really think that was just us making excuses.
Yeah, we just didn't know. Falling physically sick frequently. I think I definitely have that one.
You have that so
I have that
much.
one like all the time. I am so sick. I have gotten sick here more times like in the past 2 months than I have like in a year at home. Like I get sick all the time here.
Out of all of the time that I have lived with you, which is almost 2 years for everybody, I have never seen her more sick than she has been in like the last month being here.
It's really sad.
You're almost always
I
sick.
always have the physical symptoms, obviously.
I think it's funny though, like I'm sick right now, but it's not because I ate or anything, but we did just get to Germany, and it is very different than Finland and America.
Yeah.
So I'm slightly wondering if that has anything to do with
Yeah,
that.
that one really sucks though, because like I miss out a lot of stuff because I'm always sick and it makes me really sad. But
you kind of go home from a lot of things
all the time.
early
I really am.
because
Like I
you're
am
sick.
so sick.
Yeah.
And that also leads to me either not sleeping or sleeping too much. I really have a lot of these.
Everything
things.
here is just exhausting, honestly. It's
It
exhausting hearing another language all the time, and then like you hear the language and then you have to like figure out that it's not English. That you can't
and the problem
understand
is that
it.
we do know some words in Finnish, so we will try really hard to pick out the words that we know and try to figure out what they're saying, because people don't always translate for us, or like just honestly just being in another country is exhausting trying to live here. So like we just are
honestly
tired.
neither one of us like adult much in America because we still live with our parents, so like keeping ourselves alive is a little exhausting. Like, I don't know, I've never had to cook for myself more than a week at a time, because even at college you can buy food already made.
Like you can buy it obviously in Finland, but like it's just it's different. It's just different. Excessive concern over health or sanitary needs. I have not seen that one at all, actually.
I haven't either.
I didn't know that was one.
Is this saying like you want to be more clean or you don't clean yourself?
Excessive concern. I think it's just like I'm not clean. Maybe like I don't like the country, so I'm just gonna like wash it off of me. I don't know.
I think there's something in the water here or something though, because like I know this is a little weird, but like I feel like I stay clean longer here than in America.
So
if that's super weird, but I've personally noticed the difference.
Yeah. I have never felt that one. Yeah. Some psychological or emotional symptoms are feeling sad.
That one's not obvious.
I feel sad all the time.
Aw, do you really?
Yeah, I feel sad a lot.
I would say I feel sad just whenever I talk to people from America that I miss a lot, or whenever I have to go out of my way to get something that's very common in America.
Yeah. Mood swings.
Both of us.
It's awful.
We don't fight all that often. And when we do in America, it's a pretty civil fight, okay? Here
it's just awful. Oh my gosh.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
It's great that we're best friends.
Are pretty intense because like I feel bad too because at school some days like we don't ever have the same off days. I don't think it's really like switched. So like at school sometimes if they're explaining a concept like in the first week and you just got really angry at like this person explaining it and literally almost had to walk away from this person and I was like, she's okay. It's okay.
I don't think I have ever been so mad in my entire life that I had to walk away from somebody who was in the middle of a sentence. And I would say that even if I am that mad, like I try my hardest not to sound rude, so I wouldn't walk away. And that
I feel it all the time. Like somebody will say something and I just get like a really internal rage. Like I get so angry so fast and then I'll just calm down and then it's
mine
a
sometimes happens the opposite way too, that like suddenly I am just so happy to be in Europe and then 2 seconds later I'm like, but where is this? Where is this?
It is. Yeah, I would say mood swings are very irritability.
I'm always really I'm sorry, you are equally as irritable.
Oh, I know.
I never really know how to react to her since we have been friends for 2 years. And like the mood swings and the irritability, like they changed for both of us so much that
Yeah.
I don't know how to go about talking to her whenever.
Like we're aware that each other are homesick at different times, and it is like you get better and then you get worse, and some days are just better. Like if you know like something is happening, like today is a big day for me in America, but like some days just are better, and so but it's hard to like I know exactly what like she's going through, but it's hard to be like
supportive.
Like yeah, like you can't. Yeah. There's no helping it. Like no matter what anybody says to me, like it's not gonna make me feel better. Honestly.
Yeah,
and it's hard.
A part of this that I don't think they have on this list is like, I don't know. I feel like you and the other exchange students should be the ones that I can talk to most about it. But I don't. Like, I would rather tell the Finnish people than you.
Yeah,
sometimes.
What we do, like,
we kind of just rant about it sometimes.
About it a lot. Yeah. We do with the other exchange student. It helps you. It really, that's the only thing that really helps is, like, just getting it all out. Yeah. Losing touch with yourself.
Actually, I didn't feel that until one of my friends in America commented on something that I had said that was like, that's not you saying that. Like there was a day.
Yeah, I mean, I would say that like being in another country is going to change you, but I don't think it's going to change you to the point that you don't know yourself.
I don't think it changes you for the worst either, honestly. Like being here, I would say that I have learned more things about cultural differences and like respect here than I have learned about science in the last year, or frankly art in the last 2 months. But yeah. Okay, so closing up, not talking to others. These really fit us, actually.
They really do. The more I'm reading this is awful. Yeah. I would say definitely. Like it's hard to like. You wouldn't really just be like to a Finnish person, oh, I'm having a lot of problems, because they're like, well, what is wrong with this? Because they don't understand that, like, it's not our first thing. So I need to be like, I can talk to the other exchange students because they know what I'm going through, but it's hard to get like past the I should tell them part.
Yeah. So I actually really like part of Finland's culture so in America you say, hey, hi, how are you? And then the person says,
good, how are you?
And then I say, good, what can I help you with at a store? Or like, if it's a friendship, just keep off the what can I help you with thing. Mm-hmm. But that's just like the starter of the conversation. That's like where the awkward part in Finland stands. But like here, if somebody says, how are you? Then they actually expect you to tell them how you are.
That's very odd.
Yeah. There's been 2 people here that like they've said, like, how are you? And I said, good, how are you? And then they're like, how are you really doing? And then I just go on a big, huge rampage, and I'm like, I can't stand this in Finland, and why do you do this? And like, so, closing up, yes, to the people that I know the most. I can't tell my parents certain things, and I can't tell Sarah certain things, or my best friends in America, but like to the Finnish people that I don't really know, I'm just like, this entire country is just okay, so lack of confidence and feeling insecure. LOL in America too. Every person.
I don't think that has increased since I've been here.
I don't think so either. Other than like, I don't know, other than just the main cultural differences. So while I don't believe that I am much above, like, the average look and, like, size of the Americans, I obviously am in Europe. So that one's a little odd. So I don't really like trying on clothes here.
I think the only thing, like, lacking confidence is just the fact that, like, I'm getting used to the Finnish way, but I still think that, like, it's not correct, so I'm still hesitant to do it in a Finnish way. So,
like, you're not doing it correct?
Yeah, like, like, I know how they want me to do something, but I'm still, like, should I do it? Like, really hesitant to go ahead and do something because I feel like I'm doing it wrong.
To this one and to that comment, I have a friend we have a friend in America who's from South Korea, and she once told us a story that there was a girl from South Korea that she knew in America, but she didn't know whether or not to bow to them or to wave to them, saying like hello. And I say that is a very common thought for me, not like the bowing thing, but like, should I do it the Finnish way and try to fit in with them, even though I'll look silly in their mind because I'm obviously not Finnish?
Yeah.
Or should I do it the American way and not fit in?
That's very true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Small problems become big worries, making a mountain out of a molehill. I'd say yes, but short term.
Yeah, I think that small, like, not necessarily become big problems, but I think that they just, like, they just continuously get, well, yeah.
I think we freak out about the small problems, but nothing about the big differences.
Yeah, I think that it's just, like, if you don't say something about it, that it, like, it just gets on your nerves so much, and it's, like, just little problems on top of little problems, and then you're like, oh my god, I can't do anything.
Honestly, like, I would say one of the biggest differences is, like, the fact that, I don't know, public nudity, but that one we took a really long time of commenting on, but, like, the shape of a water bottle, we were like, oh my gosh, this is just ridiculous. So, like, we comment on the small differences much more than the big differences.
Yeah. I think the big differences are just honestly easier to deal with, because you're like, I just want to drink a soda. Why is this bottle different? And then you just flip out because it's like, why is it a different color? Like, why is a Mountain Dew bottle a different color? Like, I don't understand. But then it's
I'm gonna see Mountain Dew bottles in America, and I'm gonna be like, what is this?
But then, like, the big differences are just, they're fine. So, like, I think that might just be us, but, like, I think that we do freak out about the little differences.
Being too overcautious in everything, overthinking. I would say that's the exact opposite with the overcautious part, but the overthinking part, I would say, is correct. So, like, Finland, because we've been told that it's so much less crime than America, I feel like I should be more cautious still.
I just feel really safe in Finland. Like, I don't feel like overcautious. Like, I ordinarily am very hasty to do things. Like,
you don't say.
yeah, I'm very impulsive, but so I don't think that has changed. But I think I overthink about them more than I do ordinarily. But I still don't think that it's like a giant problem.
I would say the overcautious for me, no, but the overthinking, I am definitely a worrier. Is that a true statement?
That's a very true.
So I overthink literally everything in my life. But in Finland, I would say I overthink even more, mainly because the differences in personalities between Americans and Finnish people. So, like, Finnish people are very passive listeners. So they won't nod. They won't, like, make noises like, whenever you're talking. They'll just sit there with a blank face and listen. And I honestly thought for a very long time that meant that I was boring them, or, like, they just didn't like me. And I would think about it for days. And then we saw in a presentation that that's just how they listen. Yeah. So, yeah. Not feeling safe and secure.
I would say, like, in Finland in general, I feel extremely safe, and especially because we're in a small town. But, like, since we've come to a different country, like, we've been to Norway and Sweden, and right now we're in Germany, and we're about to go to Italy. But I do not feel very safe in Berlin, especially. Like, I feel
sorry for anybody in Germany.
Which, like, I love it. I love Berlin. But, like, I just feel like, oh my god, I need to protect what I have. But, like, I do not feel it in Finland at all.
And it might not be true at all that, like, in Germany you need to feel this way, but I just instantly felt more unsafe here.
Yeah, I did too.
Honestly, more unsafe here than I did in America, actually.
Yeah, I don't know.
But I have no idea what that's from. Feeling foreign? No way. Feeling foreign and different, and misunderstood.
Yes, I feel misunderstood 100% of the time, because I feel like, for one, it's just because of the language difference. Like, they do not, like, always understand what I'm saying, but whenever they do, they take it in a different way, so it's hard to, like, actually get what you're saying across.
Yeah. So. I would say feeling foreign and different. I feel like that mainly. I just feel different and less of a person every time they bring up our government. It's really starting to actually upset me how many people talk about Donald Trump, even though neither one of us voted for him.
We were actually just walking down the street today in, like, the center of Berlin, and these people were not speaking German or English. Actually, I don't know where they're from, but like just heard the name Barack Obama and then Donald Trump. Like it is very, very annoying, and we'll talk about that later. But definitely not helping.
I would just say that like feeling the foreign. I just feel like I personally, obviously everybody feels foreign in a foreign country, but I personally just feel less of a person whenever they. Like, it'll be the first question we're asked, too, is, why Trump? Because.
Yeah.
We don't know either. Okay, taking everything too seriously / personally, or not taking anything seriously / personally. This varies, too.
Yeah.
Sometimes we'll be having a very serious conversation, and I'm like, look at this video with this cat. Like, look it.
I would just say, like, I get personally offended whenever they're personally attacking our country. But ordinarily, I don't feel like they're just, unless they're out, like, attacking us.
Taking things over seriously, for me, is I get very upset whenever somebody is obviously not liking what we're doing in class. Like, I don't know, I have found myself, somebody complimented Sarah, and I got upset about it because, like, they just said, oh, you have obviously painted before, and I got so upset about it because I took it the complete wrong way, and, yeah.
Yeah, sometimes.
Fighting with others. The only person I fight with is you.
Yeah, but I think it's because we're together all the time, so I don't think that's a culture shock at all. We just fight.
And I don't think we fought anytime recently.
No.
There was really just, like, one really big fight.
Yeah.
But that's because we literally spent 4 weeks 24/7 together. Like, from the moment that we got on the plane in Newark to 4 weeks later, we spent every single second together.
Yeah. Impatience or unwillingness to try to understand the new surroundings. I would say just impatience, because like sometimes when we don't understand what they're saying, like we both get very impatient, where we'll just start snapping on people. We're like, what are you saying? Like what? And we're not like waiting for them to finish, because sometimes it is like they say the same thing over and over to us, and we're like, we got that, but why? But like we're trying to ask them a different question, and we're not being patient enough to let them get there. So I would say, yeah.
This has nothing to do with this like symptom, but whenever people speak to us in Finnish really fast, and we obviously look like we have no idea what's going on, and then we say, English only, please, and then they just speak slower in Finnish, I would say that is a very impatient move for me, because it doesn't matter how slow you speak Finnish. I still don't know Finnish, ever. Like, I know about 10 words.
I appreciate the people who, like, slow down and then point or make some kind of hand gestures, but if you say the exact same sentence in Finnish 5 times, but, like, at different rates of speed that you're speaking, like, we're not going to understand. So, like, I think we both get very impatient, even though, like, they may not speak any English at all, but, like, we don't speak Finnish, but we can point.
We're not impatient with them. We're impatient with the circumstance, I think.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think, honestly, my favorite part of learning the art is it's teaching me a lot of patience that I will use in my future. Like, I relate it to the fact that, like, I have messed up chemistry labs before because I was too impatient to wait for something to dry correctly. But here, you can't do that with your art. So I feel like that's going to help me a lot. So crying. Have you cried?
Aww.
Yes. I haven't cried.
I get upset all the time.
Aww.
I cry myself to sleep.
I hope that's a joke.
It wasn't actually.
Aw, Sarah.
I know.
Talk to me. I haven't really cried any at all. No.
It was a bad few weeks, but.
Is it over now?
You know, sometimes.
Oh, that's so sad. I'm sorry.
Imbalanced emotional state. I feel
Isn't that like the same thing as mood swings?
Yeah, I would say, that's the same thing, but I would say,
Imbalanced emotional state.
I think just not consistent emotional state. Like, I would say that I don't have a consistent emotional state every single day, so maybe, yeah?
I would say half the time I'm just ticked off, and then the other half the time I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm in Europe.
Yeah.
It also takes a while for me to realize, not even a while, it's taken 2 months, to realize that we're in Europe right now. Like, it blows my mind to think, okay, so Americans don't really travel a lot. The typical American, they say, has never left 50 miles circumference from where they were born. So, I don't know how long that is in kilometers. Sorry. It's not very far. And it, like, that just blows my mind. Before this trip, the farthest I went away was Mexico. And even that was only a week, and I was with my family. So it blows my mind to think that right now it's light in America, but it's been dark for hours here. And just to think physically how far we are away. So, hold on. Okay, so I know at the very beginning of the video I said, like, we'll put some statistics of culture shock, but I just tried to look them up and they don't really come up.
Pretty much, like, just expect it, and it's fine. Like, everyone pretty much goes through culture shock. You should never be like, I'm above it, and I'm just super good at adapting, so I'm not getting culture shock.
Honestly, until like a week ago, we had no idea that these were the symptoms of culture shock. I honestly would have never been like, I have culture shock before 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, but I think it's important to recognize it and just be aware of it. But like, it does get better.
Be aware that it's so normal for everybody.
Yeah, and there's times that like it's really bad and you want to go home, but then there's times that like you just really like it.
Yeah.
So
There's like 4 stages of culture shock, and like, I don't know, most people's just vacations are in the honeymoon stage. That like you just love everything.
Yeah,
that's
but even 2 months have been a long time. Like, I realize that it's not a long time, but it is a long time.
Yeah.
It is.
Honestly, like, our trip right now, I wouldn't say I have culture shock from Germany because I've been here for less than a week because we're in, like, the honeymoon stage or whatever. But there's, like, you get frustrated, and that's another one should be on that list. I get frustration from everything, just from being exhausted all the time and not understanding. But yeah, so eventually you'll accept it, and it's a very natural thing to have. And they say that if you stay somewhere long enough, then you'll have reverse culture shock whenever you go back to your home country. I really hope that doesn't happen to us.
Oh my god, I hope not.
I really hope not. Right now in my mind, I realize it's the culture shock, but America is familiar to me, and I just hope that that's what I go back to. Just familiarity. Yeah, so if you have culture shock, just stick with it. Talk to other foreign exchange students, or talk to the people from home more, or honestly, even the people in the country that you're staying in, but don't be rude about what you dislike and like about the country.
That's why you should always go with foreign exchange students, because you're both going to have the same frustrations and things that are different. So it's helpful because they are going through the same thing to talk to them.
So yeah, leave us some comments about what you've noticed helps and hurts about culture shock and stuff like that. And we'll see you in the next video.